Hello, and thank you so much for joining me today. This is episode 6 of the Monday Morning Manager, and I'm your host, Terry Hollenbeck. Here on the Monday Morning Manager, we talk about some of the basic tenets and fundamentals of management and leadership so that you can have an easier and more successful organization, business, and an easier workday. Before we get started with the fundamental tenet for this week, I just want to thank everyone on here who has liked and subscribed and is checking out the Monday Morning Manager on a regular basis. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be doing this. I appreciate the opportunity and I appreciate you tuning in. I would just also like to say that I deeply appreciate everyone who checked out my book, Somehow I Manage. I was overwhelmed by the number of people who checked it out in the first few days following its release. It's been out for around 6 days, and I just wanted to say a heartfelt thank you to everyone who has checked it out on Amazon, and I really appreciate you. That's definitely something that makes me feel like I did the right thing in taking the almost 2 years that it took to put that book together. Without further ado, I want to go ahead and move on to our topic for this week. Again, less ego-driven management. In my book, Somehow I Manage, I came up with several examples of characters who are driven by ego and how they almost failed as a result. And I'm going to pull a couple of those for our discussion here today. The first one that I'm going to use is Tony Stark, also known as Iron Man, a fictitious character from comic books and Marvel movies, played wonderfully by excellent actor Robert Downey Jr. in the Marvel live action movies. Tony Stark starts out as a charismatic businessman, a playboy, if you will, someone who has gone out and created a successful company or inherited his father's company. He's very wealthy. He is a genius level inventor. And so he always thinks that he's the smartest man in the room. He thinks because he is in charge of the successful company and is a very intelligent person, that he should always be the one involved in the decision making. As we find from Avengers 2, Age of Ultron, where Tony Stark's genius leads him to create a killer robot who almost destroys the entire country of Sokovia and kills hundreds or thousands of people. Genius is not always the one required facet to leadership. As we see further from the Civil War movie with Captain America, Tony Stark's insistence on always being the decision maker, always believing because he is the smartest person in the room that his decisions are always 100% right, he actually ends up breaking up the Avengers and setting brother against brother, sister against sister, and teammates against each other. And it almost leads to the lack of preparation that we see that causes Thanos's search for the Infinity Gems and the Time Stone to become more successful because of Iron Man's ego. Now, by the last movie, when we get into Avengers Endgame, Tony Stark has created a complete 180. He is a different character than he was at the beginning, and he finds himself able to sacrifice himself in order to make sure that the victory against Thanos succeeds. A second character that is also very ego-driven, and it leads to his ultimate end, is Walter White from the Breaking Bad series. Again, portrayed by amazing actor Bryan Cranston. Love a lot of what he does. But in this particular show, he does an amazing job at being one of the worst guys of all time. At first, Walter starts out and you actually feel sorry for him. He's a teacher who doesn't have a lot of money. He's very worried about what's going to happen to his family when he passes away from a cancer diagnosis, a terminal illness diagnosis, when he goes to the doctor. Walter is driven into an illegal activity, the making of methamphetamine, in order to protect his family, or at least that's the justification that he starts to give himself. But as you can see over time and over character development from the multiple seasons, it becomes less and less about Walter's family and what he can do for them. And it's more about the legacy that he can create for himself, the legend that he can make for himself, and the success that he feels that he deserves. He's able to sacrifice his brother-in-law. He's able to overlook the fact that he has lost his wife because he just wants to achieve success in the drug world. And ultimately, it leads to his failure and demise at the end of the show. I'm not saying that anyone out here is a Tony Stark or a Walter White, but you just need to make sure when you go through and you make the decisions that you make in your day-to-day business, as you make the decisions that you have to make for your organization, that you're doing the right things for the right reason and for the betterment of your organization and its employees. Don't make it about you and your long-term success. If you bring long-term success to your organization and to your employees, success for you will follow naturally. I just want to thank you again for taking the time to check this out. Please join us next week for our episode. In the meantime, I'd appreciate it if you would like and subscribe below. Thank you so